but hopefully it's all good. My co-caster will hopefully be joining me a tiny bit later, but for now it's just going to be a solo cast. So tonight is Wednesday night. This is the Dota is Hard in-house games, and I am your caster, The.Spectre. Tonight this game is also being cast by Project Swift, who's coming back after a couple weeks off from being sick, so go and check out the kind of more official Dota is Hard casting channel at youtube.com/Project Swift DIH. I'm going to double check if I have that right when the cast is over. And for now we have quite a few good players here. Of course, my personal friends kathified and Juicy on the side of the Radiant there, as well as Jbone, Jerome, the Skeleton Man on Dire. So hopefully we're going to see some good games. Also a shout out to Shockz and Way, who I've cast quite a bit before. So the bans from both teams are pretty standard. The Dire's bans are slightly different, banning out the Weaver and the OD, who have been very, very active in competitive play recently. Mushi has been picking up OD quite a lot and running him as a solo mid or safe lane farmer and just kind of really wrecking some of the Chinese teams. But his late game carry isn't the best once everyone gets up a BKB, so maybe we're going to see some heroes that don't generally go for those BKBs. Meanwhile, the Radiant go for two very, very annoying picks in the Nyx Assassin and the Nature's Prophet. We're going to see invis ganks and global support for those through the Nature's Prophet teleport. And the Dire do snag up the Treant Protector, who is just horrible to lane against in the early game, with Living Armor being just, I would say, one of the worst early game spells to go up against if you're on the enemy team. And it is receiving a nerf. I'm not sure if it's come over just yet, but the Living Armor instances were going to be scaled back. So at the moment it's 7 damage instances. I believe it's going to be something like 2, 3, 5, 7, or I'm not quite sure of the scaling, but it's going to be changed, so it's not just 7 instances at all levels. Meanwhile, we see a TA banned out, so I'm not quite sure whether they're going to send this Nyx mid, or whether they're going to use him as a tri-lane support. And of course, if the Nature's Prophet might be, an off-lane, or in the jungle, or even as a mid hero, he's quite a versatile hero. The Dire side also banning out quite a lot of popular mids, with the OD and the Queen of Pain already being taken out of the pool. So it'll be interesting to see the direction that both teams want to go. We can already see that the Dire are quite defensive with the Darkseer and Treant, and the Radiant are very aggressive with their Nyx and Nature's Prophet pickups. And meanwhile, I'm just going to close my web browser, well, not my web browser, I'm going to close down Facebook, because the notification noise is making noise. And my co-caster just came on Skype, hooray! I'm going to see if he wants to come and cast yet, or whether he's going to eat dinner first. He isn't even on Steam. What a dog. Thanks Rampage for the info. He says he thinks that the tree armor is 4 instances at level 1, so yeah, not sure. I think it might just be 4, 5, 6, 7, which would be the 4 levels, which would make sense. And 4 instances early on is a lot easier to tick down than the 7 that it currently is. Also, kind of a hidden nerf to that Living Armor is Kunkka's Torrent. The damage intervals have been changed. So I believe it actually deals 11 damage instances over its duration in like small damage kind of ticks. It is still basically instant. However, I think the Torrent needs to be level 2 and above to remove things like Living Armor and Templar Assassin's Refraction. So it'll be pretty interesting to see if he's picked up more to try and lower that Treant Protector kind of pickup rate and win rate. I think he's sitting at currently around 56% win rate in competitive Dota, so we might see a bit of a fall off with the incoming nerf and kind of semi-buff to other heroes with overtime damage instances. We see a Slark pickup, so the aggression continues. It's pretty insane from the Radiant side at the moment. You might notice that the portraits will freeze. It's just because I've tabbed out. So I'm just contacting my awesome co-caster DotA to see if he wants to come in and help me cast yet, or whether he's going to have some food first. Meanwhile, the pickups for the Dire side are a Lone Druid and a Dragonite, continuing their extremely tanky lineup. It's going to be very hard for this combo on the Radiant side to take down these heroes. Although Slark might enjoy a lot of stat stealing if he can pick up a BKB and a bit of survivability early on to last through everything that the Dire will be throwing at him. So I think, in a way, that the Dire are picking those very tanky heroes to counter the aggression of the Radiant. And we might see it pay off for them. It depends just how aggressive they are, because they have a very strong kind of level 2, 3, 4 lineup that can take down a lane very quickly. And it really all depends on the rotation from the Nyx and the Slark during the mid-game as to how effective they're going to be. We see the Jacaro pickup, which will most likely be kathified's hero. She loves the twin-head dragon. Can't get enough of that Jacaro. The Gyrocopter is banned out by the Dire, not wanting them to get a nice AoE carry. The Storm Spirit being banned out by the Radiant, so another mid being taken out. They'll most likely run the Dragonite mid, but they do also ban out the Shadow Demon, who is, you know, one of the top tier supports. And we see a Chen being picked up, someone that I don't think we've actually seen in a DotA is Hard match that I've cast before. A bit of a higher skill hero, needing the micro for your creeps, but definitely something that can come into play early on. And really the push of this team gets a bit scary now with the Dragonite level 6 dragon form, the Lone Druid and his bear, along with some Chen creeps and the heal, as well as the heal from Treant. It's going to be very annoying. Not to mention early on the Ion Shell with the person who is being shelled with living armor is going to be very annoying to take out. You could even cast them both on a creep and just have them take out waves. And we see an Invoker as the final pickup, so that will most likely be our mid player. And I have just realized that I don't have an overlay for being in-game, so I'm gonna have to do that right now. Scramble! This is what happens when your computer crashes. You forget the simplest of things. Alright, so I have it now. There we go. It's all set up. We don't have the DotA is Hard logo that usually sits here. I'll probably add that in between Game 1 and Game 2. But for the moment, on the side of the Radiant, we have kathified taking up the support Jacaro, Not Quite Claymore on the Slark, Juicy on the Nyx Assassin, Wei, our mid player, on the Invoker, and GxBANGER on the Nature's Prophet. On the side of the Dire, we have aCherryMan on the Chen, NitroS on the Lone Druid, or NitroS, Jbone on the Dragonite. We have Shockz on the Treant Protector, as well as TesticleFairy on the Darkseer. Nice and fitting that he gets the Darkseer here. TesticleFairy. Come on, guys, what is this?
30 seconds to showtime.
So, at the moment, it looks like we're going to see the Nyx, Slark, and Jacaro go bottom. So we are going to see a tri-lane with the Nyx. But I can't help but feel that this tri-lane's rather weak. The Nyx, of course, being a melee character, and Jacaro having a very short range. He doesn't have the best harass. He's got a very long attack point and cast point, so it's not going to be the easiest. But if Juicy is able to land a stun, it's going to be very easily followed up by an Ice Path and a Pounce from the Slark.
On one side,
and Darkseer has already skilled his Ion Shell, so not going for level 1 Surge or keeping a skill point in reserve, so really living life on the edge here. If you do play an offlane support, such as Darkseer or Windrunner, who, you know, kind of has a choice of whether between getting your kind of AoE nuke to take down waves as well as your escape ability with, you know, Power Shot, Ion Shell, and Surge and Wind Run. It's always best to just kind of leave a point unspent until you're in lane. Otherwise you can get in a situation like this where if TesticleFairy comes too close, and if he goes into the area kind of down here and Nyx manages to wrap around him and get a stun, he's going to be dead instantly. So you can see at the moment he's standing off the wave trying to Ion Shell a creep up, which will let the supports know that they can really get aggressive on this Darkseer, and they need to be zoning him out of experience range. Meanwhile, if I turn on the last hits, we can see that Wei and Jbone are doing a good job in mid. It's quite even at the moment. Wei is a little bit ahead. Looks like he's gone for the standard kind of mid Quas Exhort build, and he did go Blades of Attack first, so he does actually have some base damage. The Quas will also help him regen some harass damage. You can see Jbone getting quite heavily hit, hasn't leveled up the stun yet, instead goes for some early Dragon Blood just for that extra regen. The tri-lane on top for the Dire side, Treant just coming up and using his Tree Punch on his Nature's counterpart, getting very aggressive here, but again the kind of melee support not the best for these harassing situations, and it looks like it's not actually a tri-lane as I said, but aCherryMan will be roaming up top. They do have a lane ward, they know that he's in the trees here. He's going to get aggressive, he has the Ursa, the clap comes out, we can see some slow here. It looks like this is going to be the death of GxBANGER. He throws out some trees, but first blood goes to aCherryMan. Excellent rotation there from the Chen, and we can see why he picked him up. Perfect creep for it, getting the clap off, and the lane ward early on, spotting out his movement, so some excellent play from Cherry there. And as I was saying before, not quite a tri-lane up here. Quite often you'll see a jungler paired up with a dual lane, so they can rotate into lane like that. It's really important that the Radiant offlaner sets up a ward in this kind of location. You can even eat this tree here, and you get quite a lot of vision up here and across here. Which really helps spot it out. Of course, Chen does have 2 sentry wards here in his inventory, so probably expecting this move from GxBANGER, who didn't actually bring wards into the offlane. It looks like they instead were taken by the Twin Head Dragon. In fact, Twin Head Dragon and Juicy have smoked up. They might be wrapping around coming for Jbone. He has overextended, trying to go for Wei, and he's going to be in a lot of trouble now. The Ice Path goes wide, but all that was needed was a stun. A good little bait there by Wei, making Jbone overextend into the tower range, and a nice rotation from the supports there. Let me just turn this. Cool, I'm going to turn down my Skype notification noise. Apparently it's a little bit loud. My co-caster meanwhile is eating, so he won't be joining me just yet, and I'll use this time in the pause to turn off that notification noise. There we go, so those are muted and they shouldn't annoy you guys anymore. So at the moment we see the Darkseer has managed to get one last hit. The Slark's actually doing a very good job of denying heroes under Ion Shell. Surging a creep for some reason there, but because the support did rotate out a lane, it let him come forward a bit, and we see another rotation come out, which I've missed. Looks like it may have been a lucky entangle there from NitroS, leading into a kill there. And Trounce have been spawned here and are stuck. Not quite sure how that worked out, but there we go. The Lone Druid is the leader of the CS at the moment, sitting at 23 and 12. He's doing a very good job up here. And the mid lane, you can see that living armor just makes life a living hell for a mid laner, especially against such a tanky hero like Dragon Knight, getting the regen from the living armor as well as the Dragon Blood. It does look like he's bottle crowing, still a walking courier for the Dire side. But he will be bottle crowing and just throwing out the breathe fire for a bit of harass onto Wei, as well as being able to take down the creep wave. Something interesting to note is because of the way that breathe fire was coded in Warcraft 3 originally, breathe fire does affect units, like siege creeps. So just a little bit of interesting facts for you there. Meanwhile, TesticleFairy, getting living armor up on him on the bottom lane. He's quite low on mana, does have enough for the surge. And Slark has decided to level up Dark Pact before Pounce. Personally, I love to level up Pounce first, just because it does reduce the cooldown on that skill so much, from 20 seconds at level 1 to 8 seconds at level 4. It does, of course, also scale the damage, and you're not hurting yourself with Dark Pact before you have that that ultimate up. It does, of course, do half damage to yourself. But, you know, each player is different, and it's different for the situation. And while I've been talking, I've missed a kill. It looks like Cherry might have overextended here as well, so we might see another kill come out. The living armor keeps him alive for a little bit. And a double kill for the Jacaro. So again, some nice rotation. Wei does die, however, Jbone, as well as aCherryMan, I believe his name is, have gone down under the T1 tower. So some excellent aggro juggling there, and some chaining of stuns, it looks like. And some TP support from the Nature's Prophet, of course. And it looks like they have, in fact, sacked their off lane, and they've just sent the Prophet to jungle. So he knows he can't do anything more against this the bear with Entangle up, so he's just gone in to get what farm he can in the jungle. Not sure if we'll see a Hand of Midas come out from him. Quite often the programmers recently have been even going for that kind of 12-15 minute Hand of Midas after they've sacked lane or gone for a mech first, just because they can so easily catch up, as well as the game's going quite late recently. I don't think I've seen a game under sort of 50 minutes come out from the Alienware Cup in a long time. So yeah, really that Hand of Midas, the longer you have it, the more it pays itself off. So it's a viable pickup if you're not going for an early push strat. We see another smoke up on the mid lane. Juicy throws out the stun. The Cold Snap also comes out, and a Ice Path to follow up. The Living Armor does come out. Jewel Breath is on DK, and it's going to be enough to take him out. Meanwhile, the pure damage comes out from the Chen, but it's not enough to take down the Invoker. He gets Ice Pathed up, but some nice stunning from the Chen, and the damage from the creeps is enough to take out the Nyx Assassin. The Jewel Breath not going to be enough to tick him over, and he does get some Living Armor from the Treant as well. So some excellent play from the Treant, getting liver armor up on those targets basically instantly as soon as they're being focused. And I think kathified is a bit too slow to take down this creep, so she should give it up and go back to mid lane. It looks like Jbone's TP mech. I thought it was Nature's Prophet for a moment because of the colour. And in fact, it looks like GxBANGER is doing some cliff jungling. There's also picking up a Ring of Aquila. We hear a Dark Pact going off. Slark has hit level 6. In fact, he's level 7. It looks like he's doing a bit of jungling with Dark Pact, so maybe that's why he's skilled it early. He gets some AoE creep kills, but leaves himself a little bit susceptible. As I said before, he does not have much health early on. NitroS is putting a lot of damage on this tower with help of the bear. In fact, he's going to be able to take it down in a few more swipes of his paw. Oh, the siege creep, or one of the range creeps, takes the last hit from him though. So he is leading the CS board at the moment with 52 last hits, and it's very dangerous to have farm up early on a lone druid like this. It looks like a Cold Snap's coming out on Darkseer. He does have enough mana to surge away, and he also has the living armor on him. They're not going to be able to make anything of this, but they are going to convert it into a tower push. Kathified doesn't have the Jewel Breath up yet. Meanwhile, we see a range stun coming out from the Dragon form with Dragon Tail. Is it going to tick him over? I don't think it's lethal. Yeah, it keeps on taking him down to 1 health, so non-lethal poison damage. But the lead sheet off in 1 second. No, a good stun, but he's going to run right into the lone druid, so possibly a little bit worse, giving the kill to their carry instead of a support. We're going to see a rotation in from the Invoker, but spotting the lone druid coming out, I don't think they're going to be able to make anything from this.
Radiant's mid towers.
You know, if we take a quick look at the ward vision, we can see that the Radiant really only have kind of this area that they're quite cut off. They're not going to be able to go out from their from basically their river at all. Whereas the Dire side have a little bit more vision. They've got some high vision in the middle, but not much over the Radiant, to be fair. So it'll be interesting to see if Chen can get up some more wards. Does have 1.3k, so he chose to get the Arcane Boots first, give his creeps a bit more stomping power, but he'll probably be going for that mech. Wei is working towards the 4-staff. He'll have it very soon. And it looks like the Dire are going to apply a lot of pressure to this top T2. The aggression isn't coming out from the Radiant side just yet, so they're very willing to put out the push advantage right now. That Lone Druid Bear hitting very hard with a Maelstrom already picked out. This tower is not going to last long, as well as 2 Centaurs. This tower is going to go down for free. No rotations coming out from the Radiant side, and they have to be really worried about the push coming out here. The DK hasn't even joined in this push at the moment, and I think if the Dire grouped up as 5 at the moment, I don't think there would be much the Radiant could do. They don't have the greatest team fight. They're great for pickoffs, and they have excellent mid-game single target damage, but as far as AoE goes, outside kind of Dark Pact and Macropire, it's like Invoker of course has Meatball, but it's very, it's not AoE. We're not seeing something like, you know, a vacuum wall coming out of them, and if they can't stop these pushes, it's gonna mean, you know, an early game. Creeps win matches, not heroes. A mega creeps will always win you the game. Not always, you know what I mean. We have a Maelstrom up on the Spirit Bear, and NitroS also has 300 gold. I don't think he has anything on the Courier at the moment. It looks like Juicy might be in a bit of trouble. No, just a Breathe Fire coming out. The Dragon Form is available, but there is enough now for a stun. So they are grouping up as 4 at the moment and pushing, and just look how quickly this tower is going down with the Green Dragon as well as the Bear. The Meteor is thrown out, but just hits on a few creeps. NitroS is playing dangerously, coming forward with his hero instead of the Bear, not keeping him in the backlines, maybe hoping for a root here. Spike Carapace thrown out, a good Ice Path there, hitting on 3 heroes. The Nature's Prophet ult comes out, but it's instantly healed up, and the Bear goes down, not resummoned by the Lone Druid, so that's going to be 300 gold going to the Invoker. Some nice cash in his pocket, and that's going to allow him to finish up his 4-staff. We can see a wraparound Juicy sitting in an invis at the moment, just sitting down here, looking for an opportunity to go in, but that Vendetta is only at level 6, so it's not going to last very long. He's going to be in trouble in a few seconds. He comes out right in front of Jbone, but throws out a stun, so we're not going to see a Dragon Tail come out. And the 4-staff is now on the Invoker. So they have grouped up, but they're not willing to push in at the moment. It looks like they're going to rotate bottom and try and take the bottom T1 instead. We see pings coming out from the Dragonite, pinging out that tower, and they might be able to pick up Slark as well if they have some detection. Some smoke being brought up by the Invoker, so they are looking to rotate past wards and take someone out. But the Slug, of course, does have his ult, and Dark Pact purges off dust if they even have any. He's put himself into the trees, and now he's just going to pounce and TP out. So some nice play from Slug there, avoiding the 5-man coming out. And it looks like the Radiant are just going to go for a trade. They know they can't stop the 5-man power of the Dire, so they're just going to try and push in and do whatever damage they can to this middle tower. Unfortunately, the Dire just pushed way too fast. This tower is almost dead already, and they should be able to rotate in and save that tower. If they choose to, they may just continue on to the T2 tower. It looks like the Lone Druid's actually TP'd to top, and he's got an Entangle on GxBANGER. Look at the damage, the Ion Shell on the main hero as well. And that is a dead Nature's Prophet, unable to strat and TP away, unfortunately. And the top tower also denied. That is a big loss for the Radiant. If we go over to look at the net worth, we see the 2 leaders are in fact Lone Druid and the Chen. So Chen making great use of the jungle as well as rotating in for ganks. He's 3 and 1 at the moment. and he has picked up the entire mech, so the 5-man of this team has become even scarier. The only outer tower remaining is the mid T1, and they are trying to trade. Living Armor goes up on the middle tower from the Treant Protector, just fades away now. And they are intent on taking this. The Ice Path comes out and hits on Shockz in a very bad spot. Throws out the ultimate, but gets hit by the meatball, uses Living Armor on himself, and it's ticked down immediately. The hasted Nyx will be able to pick him off with one last hit. The Ice Path comes out, hits on the lone druid. We see a dragon tail coming out and stunning the Jakiro though, and now this Nyx is in a bad spot. He tries to TP out, but gets rooted instantly. Oh, what a shame. The Nature's Prophet looks like it was going to TP in, but decides not to. We see some pings coming out on the Invoker. Jbone really wants this kill. Dragon is off cooldown for another 10 seconds, so he's not going to be able to take him out, and the Force Staff is doing some wonders for Wei. And he just does Force Staff down the cliff, and he's invoked Ghost Walk. He's going to QQ walk out of here. No, the sentry's thrown down. The Troll Trap comes out. He's getting a lot of damage put on him. The pure damage comes out. It's not enough to kill him off, and he continues to run. The Dire Hero is mistakenly going down to the right, and he even pops a smoke to run away faster. Some nice play from Wei there. And unfortunately, the Chen just not having enough damage on his own to take it down. The Spirit Bear now with Phase Boots as well, so it's a very fast, very hard-hitting bear. And I think that they should be able to take down mid at the moment. Darkseer not picking up his ultimate just yet, sitting only at level 7, almost 8. Of course, a lot of Darkseers only taking their ultimate at level 10 and 11 to get it up to that level 2 straight away. Just being because the level 1 ultimate only lasts for 15 seconds, and it's not that great a teamfight utility. But at 30 seconds, it's a giant pain having that last there for an entire teamfight and kind of have to run around and try and take it down. See an Ice Path coming out from Kathified, as well as the Nature's Wrath from Nature's Prophet, but it's instantly going to be healed up by a Mechanism. A nice Impale out there from the Nyx Assassin, as well as an Ice Path. The Chen is getting quite low. Nice little tornado there. The Meatball comes out. The Hand of God comes out to save Chen, but the Slark is on him. The Living Armor comes out as well, and a nice ultimate from the Treant there, but it looks like Chen is in too much trouble. He does go down to one last hit from Invoker. Another nice Ice Path Dark Pack combo coming out. The Leech Seed coming out on Slark. The Dragon Tail as well. He is going to be going down. And meanwhile, NitroS diving in for a kill on the Twin Head Dragon. His bear's quite low. He might need to resummon it. But he might just leave it for the next few hits. One Nyx Assassin stun and some auto attacks, and it's going to be the death. But no, he does resummon it. And the team is sitting at 4-5, but it looks like they're going to back off. They're not going to push uphill without the Chen, Mech, and Hand of God used in that last fight. So they're just going to be content to back off, farm the enemy's jungle for now, take away a bit more of their farm. They do have a nice offensive ward placed here in the jungle, using the wrong key there. So they're going to have some good vision there. They also have a ward up near Roche, so it looks like purple is pinging out Roshan, but Citric, Juicy rather, has come across NitroS here in the jungle. We see Nature's Prophet also teleporting in, so they're really vying for position out here. And the sentry ward placed down by Kathified takes down that ward placed in the Radiant jungle. So right now, both teams just kind of sitting back for the moment. The Dire side do have a massive tower advantage, taking down all of the Radiant's outer towers. They have very limited vision. If we take a look over at the... Ooh, that's the Radiant's vision. Yeah, there we go. You see basically nothing. Apart from where they're standing outside their base. We've got the top rune warded, but that's their only vision outside of the base, apart from this little hill with the sentry ward. Meanwhile, the Dire side do have that ward up at Roshan. They're going to see the Nature's Prophet tree scouting in there. But they do have those outer towers, so a lot wider range that they can roam around in. So, we also see the golden XP for some reason. I've clicked the wrong hotkey. And if we take a look at the experience, you can see it's 5k in the way of the Dire, taking a bit of a rise there whenever they're not getting kills. So the Radiant are finding some experience, but the gold graph, 7.5k in favor of the Dire. That is, of course, going to be mainly the tower gold that they've managed to accumulate. So the game isn't lost for the Dire yet. Rather the Radiant yet, but they will be able to, rather the Dire should be able to capitalize on the advantage that they have from those towers and turn it into a Rax. Jbone has got his BKB up in another 100 gold, which he should have with a Breathe Fire here. He does indeed, and he buys that up. Going to be flying out to him soon. TesticleFairy, meanwhile, is working towards a Hood of Defiance. Looks like he's going to be the team pipe carrier, as Chen already has that mech. He also has an Ogre Club, so it looks like he's going to be going for that Aghanim Scepter. And the tree has picked up a gem, so there's going to be no running and no hiding for the Slark, and some dewarding going on from the Dire here. Gems are excellent pickups at this point in the game. Not many pub players do this. It is a big investment and it's horrible if you lose it. But if you have tower advantage and you want to take away the possibility that the other team can even go out of their base to get farm, the best way to do that is to deny vision for the other team. Which is exactly what the Dire side have done with that gem pickup. They've also put it on an extremely tanky hero in the Treant Protector, who does have very high base strength as well as having living armor. Oh, the Slark gets rooted instantly. He gets, I think, 4-stuffed and then pounced. But, oh, Juicy going down to the AoE. Kathified also getting rooted. The ultimate is getting thrown out by Shockz, but Wei 4-stuffs him back again. Excellent play from the Invoker coming out here, doing a lot of damage to the bear as well. He's going to have to take that back. Oh no, Wei gets rooted first shot, and they really need the gem. He is close enough, and that's the death of the Invoker. One single entangle is enough to kill him, and they're going to be able to transition this into a push. This is going to be the mid racks, rather the bottom racks at least. They'll most likely also rotate into the middle. But this 5-man push is absolutely insane from the Dire side. They are capitalizing on those heroes being so low. Nitro recalling the bear, getting an entangle on Juicy. Oh, and the pure damage from the Chen takes him out. Meanwhile, Slark trying to take him out, but the triple stun from the Centaurs and the Breathe Fire. It's too much, and this Radiant team has no answer to the heroes of the Dire. An excellent draft by the captain, aCherryMan. They're going to be able to rotate into mid and take it down with little to no opposition. The Nyx is down, the Slark is down, and I don't think there's any coming back for the Radiant from 2 Raxes this early into the game. Only almost 23 minutes. In fact, Slark buys back, but it won't stop this mid-Rax from going down. They do have fortification if they want to use it. They do pop it after the meatball's thrown out. A nice Dark Pack pounce coming in. But the damage is too much from the Dire. He just jumps in with no support, no other damage sources, and they just take him down. The BKB activated by Jbone. Meanwhile, the Chen goes down to a backstab from Nyx Assassin, and they're going to be diving this hard. Nitro going in very far. Probably not the best idea. Gets his bear killed off as well as his hero, and Jbone also being stunned up by the cold snap as well as the impale from the Nyx Assassin. He's trying to run as fast as he can. No more mana, but a nice surge from TesticleFairy is going to be enough to save him. The Darkseid does have his hood finished up. Meanwhile, the Nature's Prophet was trying to split push the top tower, manages to get it down to about half health. Unfortunately, not being able to get it down anymore. He does only have treads and 2 Oblivion Staves now, but not the best pushing force at the moment. It really needs something like a Desolator or a Necro Book to really get that tower down. And the Assault Cuirass is up for the Spirit Bear now. With the farm deficit as it is and the experience going down, well, it's dipped back up a little, but still at 7.5k. I think the Dire should be able to just push creep momentum into their favor. You know, kind of get the creeps to about this level on the top and, you know, about where they are in the mid. Take a quick Roshan and then just push in for the victory. I don't think that the Radiant side will be able to stop them. We see another item coming out for the Lone Druid, and that's going to be, I think, just some teleport scrolls for him. The Nature's Prophet has finished up an Orchid, so he's going to be able to use that Orchid on the Darkseer or Chen most likely in the fights to stop the Hand of God and the Sendbacks coming out. Meanwhile, Jbone is taking out a stack of Ancients that his supports has so willingly provided him, or possibly himself given the time, and even some help from the Living Armor there. So that's going to be a nice lot of health for him. He has also picked up a Helm of the Dominator, so getting back some health as well. The bear is in a bit of trouble. He's overextended a bit here. He's been sprouted up. Juicy gets in a Vendetta hit as well as thing. Oh, but the root from the bear is enough to take out the Nature's Prophet with no help. But the rotation in from the Invoker is going to be the death of the Lone Druid. Just not enough damage to take out that Nyx Assassin, who does wand up. Nyx has picked up that gem from the earlier team fight loss. The tree did die in base, but he has picked up another one. In fact, is this the tree's gem? No, it's not. Nyx has definitely picked up his own one. Usually it goes owned by if you mouse over it and the other team picked it up. It looks like the Invoker is also going for an Aghanim Scepter as his next item. Is about 1,100 away from that, unless he's hiding things on the courier. The Slark going for a Vanguard, so another choice that I don't agree from the Slark. The Vanguard does give you some health, but the regen is basically wasted with the passive from his ultimate giving him insane regeneration when he's not in vision. So really it's going to be... It's mostly a wasted item. I'd rather just have the straight Vitality booster into a later heart, because you're really wasting around 800 or more gold, 875 gold on regen that is not necessary and is not going to help you in a team fight either. A Vitality booster doing just as good a job. And I'm not sure if the Dire are listening to my cast, because look at that. The creep wave pushed out at the top, pushed out in mid, and they take out the Roshan, and they put it on the Dragon Knight, which is a bit of an interesting choice for an Aegis. If he uses his Dragon form before being killed off for the first time, when he respawns, he's no longer in that Dragon form, so not nearly as scary as a hero as he is with that 400 range Dragon Tail stun and AoE splash damage. So not really too much of a better candidate. Of course, the Lone Druid does come back in ranged form when he respawns from Aegis, but if his bear is alive, it can continue attacking while the Aegis animation is going off. So possibly a bit of a better hero to put it on, as long as the bear stays alive. And it looks like he's in fact building a Vladimir's Offering. He has picked up a casual cloak on the hero just to lower that magic damage. But for now, the Dire are going to push in and try and take down the last remaining T3 tower. Look at the damage coming out from Wei. Just so much. The mechanism as well as the ultimate coming out from Chen. And so far the fight's going in their favor, but there you can see the Aegis has popped, the BKB and Dragon form activated, and the ultimates from the Dire side, the tree popping his ultimate at a great point there. The stat stealing from Slark going on like crazy. Oh, and a blink forward from the tree, throwing out a heal which keeps him alive, and this is going to be 4 heroes dead on the side of the Radiant. The Dire steamrolling their way to victory. They're going to take out this top tower, but the GG is already being called. Not sure if they're going to DC or if they'll just let the natural racks and throne progression go. But just too much team fight coming out from the Dire there. Trying to get a bit sneaky with their fountain diving there. Re-summons the bear, and they're going to be able to take down kathified. And they even stun Wei in base as well. So that's going to be 2 kills extra for the Dire team. And we do see a couple of DCs. So an excellent game coming out from the Dire, noticing the opponent's weakness in the drafting stage and picking up tanky heroes that were also very good for pushing. Some excellent rotations from the Chen early game, secured the lane for them, and they were able to just group up and push their way to victory. So an excellent game one coming up for our first Dota is Hard game of the night. Thanks for tuning in so far. I'm going to keep the stream going for now, and hopefully my co-caster will be joining me shortly. It looks like he did try to call me, but I had Skype noises off. So he's going to, I would say, join me for the next game. We're going to go back out to the lobby now.